Thanks, David. Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me. A little bit about me. I'm Stephanie Marshall. I'm a Power Platform developer and lead consultant with Quisitive. I have a YouTube channel where I co-host with Superfloof here, where we cover all things Power Apps, Power Automate. Those are my social channels where I post about the Power Platform as often as I can, so please reach out. A little bit about me. I'm in the United States in Montana, up there. I'm pointing at my screen like you can see it. But not the Yellowstone, Montana, right? We actually get snow here. That's me and my dog walking gear this time of year. It gets really cold, but the good part about that is that when it's, whoop, I went too far forward, sorry about that. Back, there we go. When it gets to, what I was going to say is when it's really cold here and it's negative 54, I have time for Power Platform and shenanigans. So I was asked to fill in for someone else, and since it's the holidays, I went with a recipe sharing app, and I wanted to highlight containers. So one of the basic building blocks of Power Apps is containers. And Microsoft has provided us with a really powerful tool when it comes to laying out our apps and making them responsive. Since we've all been asked to do more with less, I'm going to use all the tools that Microsoft has given us, right? Now, this app isn't designed for out of the box to be responsive, but if Vesa wants to have me back, I can cover how we could turn this app into a responsive one. Now, I will admit I went a little crazy with the sprinkles on this one, but since it's the holiday season, why not? I also wanted to do a quick overview before we get into the actual demo of what all is going on in this app. So I used a tool called Canva. It's not a paid promotion, right? Canva has free version and a pro version. I'm not a graphic designer, so if I can use free tools at my disposal, I'm going to. So I went to Canva to get some pretty pictures. I leveraged galleries to do recipe containers to make a user interface that worked for people. I have a random recipe generator, so as soon as the app loads, we get a random recipe out of the data source. We're leveraging modern tabs so people can switch between ingredients and directions. I have a custom filtering option here with a flyout filter. I want to shout out to another YouTuber here, Tolo Victor. I stole this layout from him. It's beautiful. I love it. Check out his stuff on YouTube. He's really talented. When the filter flies out, then I'm showing a new gallery to really show people what we have going on. Now, before we get into it, I wanted to cover what containers are, right? As of this moment, these are the options that we have from Microsoft. We have a horizontal container, and that distributes available space to the child components based on the specific settings and determines their alignment horizontally. This is useful like you saw here when you want to arrange controls side by side. Vertical container is similar to a horizontal container, right? But it distributes space in a child components vertically. This is really good for stacking controls on top of one another. And then we have container. So this allows for more freedom, free-form design method where objects can overlap. And this type of container is really useful for grouping things logically. You can create hierarchies and manage their properties collectively. I also use this one a lot to give defined rounded borders, and I'll show you that in the example, but it's just a really easy tool. And like I said, I'm not graphically talented, but a friend of mine helped me with this, so let's get into the demo. We have all of the containers laying out the app dynamically. As we play the app, you see we have things going horizontally, we have things going all over the place. Leveraging containers really gives us the opportunity and the ability to make our lives easier. If I were to take this container that is a horizontal container and try and recreate this manually, I would have to code in the label and how wide I want it to be, and then I would have to code in where I want this icon filter to be. Leveraging this horizontal container does that for me dynamically. So I don't have to do any of the codes that you would normally have to do. As we look here in the tree view, the main screen is broken up in a vertical container, and then we have containers within containers. This is really how containers can make your life easy. So all of these different elements are dynamically and automatically stacked for us. So we don't have to do anything. And when you play the app in different size screens, it automatically resizes for you. So here we have a horizontal container giving us a title. We have a second container here that goes horizontally, but within that one, we have a vertical container that's giving us another horizontal container for our categories. Let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. And then within that, we have a gallery. Below the gallery, we have another set of horizontal containers that have vertical containers that give us another gallery that consists of more containers. So here we have a vertical gallery that gives us the title, and then below that gives us the daily recipe in a horizontal container that then takes our image in a container that gives us that rounded border I was telling you about. You see how nice that is? And then next to that, because it's a horizontal container, we have the tabs within its own container with a vertical container that has the tabs, the modern tab list at the top, and then we have two further containers or two further galleries with a checklist and the individual recipe directions. So in this app, we have a whole sea of containers. Exactly. But this is how you can leverage the tools to make your life so much easier. It looks confusing here, but once you start building it, you see how things automatically stack and automatically define their spaces. So let's start at the top and work our way down. We have a filter button right here at the top, and you'll see it's an icon, an empty icon. When I click on it, the icon changes first off, and then we get this set of filters, or this filter set, which is in a vertical container. Now this vertical container comes out and shows, and you saw how everything automatically resized. So within this container now we have a vertical container, and within the vertical container, we have a horizontal container for the title, because here we have a label and a modern button. And then below that, we have a rectangle to define the space. And if I play it, you can see that a little bit better. We have just a very nice little gradient line here to define the space. And then below that, we have a series of more vertical containers that consist of more vertical containers. So each one of these, and this I have to give Tolo credit. I stole this from him because I only had a few days to get ready for this demo. Each one of these containers consists of, you got it, more containers, right? So let's look at this one here. I have a vertical container so that the title bar stacks automatically with the dropdown, but the first container is horizontal so that the icon, the label, and my clear button all stack right next to each other. I didn't have to say, use this on the left and then have this one fill the space, but subtract out the width of the button and do all that. I'm a lazy IT person. If I can use the tools Microsoft's given me, I'm going to. So here we have drop downs, and I'm just going to do this one really quick. We have salads. Let's look at all the salads. It's going to load the data for us, and right here in this middle, you got it, container called search, we have another gallery. And this is a regular container that I just have a visible property that toggles off of when you click the filter button. So have I used the word container enough in this talk? Okay, David's going to help me get this demo into GitHub. So if you want to dig around in it, you're more than free to. I'm also going to drop some of this stuff on my YouTube channel if you want to get into the details of how you use Canva to design this, how we use in this this container here. Let me scroll up. This horizontal container here, or this vertical container, houses a gallery with a static one, a static static table that gives us the categories for all the recipes. But within the gallery, you got it, I have a container that is giving me, again, those rounded edges that I really like. I don't have to mess with border left, border right, border top left, border top right, border bottom left, border bottom right. I don't have to go in and change all those. The container has a border radius. Plus it gives me a drop shadow, which again, I went crazy with the sprinkles on this app, but just looks pretty. It is not a drinking game. Though if you want to rewatch it and turn it into a drinking game in the holiday and your off time, have fun with that. But we have the border radius. I could make this a border radius of 15. And you see how within the app, it automatically changes for me. Let's just be crazy with the sprinkles again. There's 50. And because it's in a gallery, I made one change and it affects everything. So be lazy, IT people. Use the tools that Microsoft has given us. Don't work yourself to the bone, especially since it's the holiday season. Have fun. Let me show you before I sign off, because I know we're 4 minutes from being done. Let me just show you what we have here, because I didn't really give you an overview of the app. All these recipes are AI generated, so I'm not going to claim any of them. But as the app loads, we leveraged, and I didn't cover this, I leveraged in the on start, again, Keith yesterday was talking about formulas, but there are still use cases for on start. The data source for this is SharePoint, but I am using a random variable to get all the items and then just grab one of them and present that to the user when they load. So every time they come in, they're going to get a new random recipe. So let's not click that button. Let's click play. So we have the first recipe, and we have modern tabs that allow us to look at the ingredients, look at the directions. Let's say I just want to look at main dishes. I was able to copy what I did on the main screen for the gallery. And then let's say I want to look at a pork tenderloin. We have those modern tabs with the ingredients and the directions. If we go back, I really want to highlight this flyout filter because I just think it's gorgeous. Go back, click on the icon, fly out the filter. I can select a salad. I can sort by old to new to old, recipes A to Z. I can clear out just this portion of it. If I go back in and do that, I can click clear all and it clears everything. I could search by titles. Let's say I want a trifle. I think I have a trifle in there. There's my holiday trifle. So it really gives our end users a great experience to find what they're looking for. Containers are the bones of Power Apps. If you haven't played with them yet, they're not just for responsive design apps, they're for all uses. Make your lives easier, folks. Use the tools Microsoft has given you and have a wonderful holiday season.